My pregnant girlfriend's mother sat across from me at their kitchen table and said I had exactly 1 week to decide if I was going to be a man about this situation, and I asked her calmly to define exactly what that meant to her. My girlfriend's mother has a way of folding her hands on a table that makes you feel like you're being deposed. Both hands, flat, fingers laced, like she's about to explain the terms of a legal agreement she drafted herself and already had notarized. Her name is Beverly. She's 53 years old, drives a Volvo, makes her own jam, and apparently has a very specific internal definition of manhood that she was ready to deliver to me on a Tuesday afternoon in her kitchen while the refrigerator hummed and her daughter sat quietly in the next room pretending to watch television. My name is Owen. I'm 24. 3 weeks before that kitchen table conversation, my girlfriend Lily had shown me a pregnancy test in the bathroom of our shared apartment, and we had sat on the cold tile floor for a long time without talking, just passing it back and forth like neither of us was sure who it belonged to. We were scared. We were together. We were figuring it out, which is the honest, unglamorous truth of what early pregnancy looks like when you're two people who love each other and have no idea what comes next. What we did not expect was Beverly's 1 week deadline. She called Lily on a Sunday and asked us both to come for dinner. Nothing unusual. Beverly cooks the kind of meals that make you feel guilty about every other meal you've ever eaten. Pot roast, homemade bread, a pie cooling on the counter that had no business existing on a random Sunday in March. We ate, we talked. Her husband, a quiet and deeply kind man named Frank, asked me about my job, complimented my handshake the way men of his generation do, and said almost nothing the rest of the meal. Then Beverly sent Lily to the living room. I didn't fully register what was happening until Lily was already gone and Beverly was already seated across from me with the hands, the folded hands, the notarized hands. She told me she respected that I'd come to dinner. She told me she loved her daughter more than anything on this earth. And then she told me I had exactly 1 week to decide if I was going to be a man about this situation. She said it the way someone says a phrase they've been rehearsing. Clean, practiced, landed. The kitchen was very quiet. I could feel two versions of myself in that moment. The version that shrinks, apologizes, nods along, and says, "Yes, ma'am, understood, I'll have an answer by next Tuesday." And the version that looked at this woman, this frightened, fiercely loving mother who was watching her daughter's life change in real time, and decided that the most respectful thing I could do was take the question seriously. So I asked her, calmly, to define exactly what that meant to her. She blinked. I said it gently. I want to be clear about that. I wasn't being defensive or combative. I set my fork down and I said, "Beverly, I want to give you a real answer, but I want to make sure I understand the question. When you say be a man about this, what does that mean to you specifically?" The refrigerator kept humming. She opened her mouth, closed it, and then something happened that I don't think Beverly had planned for when she rehearsed this conversation. Her eyes filled up. Because she didn't have a clean answer, she had fear dressed up as authority. She had a mother's terror wearing the costume of an ultimatum. And when I asked her to unwrap it, she couldn't. What came out instead quietly was, "I just need to know she won't be alone." I reached across that table and I put my hand over her folded hands and I said, "She won't be. I promise you that." Frank, from the hallway, and I will never know how long he had been standing there, said, "Good man," and then walked to the kitchen to refill his coffee like nothing had happened at all. Lily and I are still figuring it out, but Beverly hugs me differently now, longer, like she means it. That's the whole story. That's enough.